From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We've got a significant traffic tie-up across mid-Michigan this afternoon. 96 westbound at around the Okemos Road exit is closed with a vehicle fire, and there's actually a few accidents happening in that area, so we'll be updating that and have more a little bit later. So we zoom out, weather-wise, we're watching some rain showers building in from the southwest, so we've got some raindrops in the forecast for tonight. Future radar dries a lot of that up initially. We'll see. I think we'll still get at least a few rain showers out there. Temperatures currently are sitting in the low 60s in the forecast for tonight. Mild as the rain moves in, mid-40s by early tomorrow morning. We've got a huge warm-up, but it's going to take a few days to get here. 6 News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Right now at 5:30, a wild ride for a suspect who, among other things, smashed into sheriff's cruisers. Plus, it looked like dog shampoo at airport security, but it definitely was not. And a runaway kangaroo tied up traffic and caused a crash in Alabama. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start the clock on our first 6 minutes of news. And we have an update for you on a story that we told you about last night, where a suspect was trying to get away from sheriff's deputies and drove into their cruisers. The Kalamazoo County Sheriff's Office released video from that incident.
Making a U-turn here at 40th.
Police say Christopher Vandenberg was the person behind the wheel of that van when it hit their vehicles. He's accused of stealing the van, breaking into a home, driving away from deputies, and then causing the crash early Tuesday morning. Deputies arrested him after he tried to run away. Both Vandenberg and a deputy had minor injuries, and tonight the suspect is in the Kalamazoo County Jail. In Grand Rapids, it's day 3 of the murder trial of former Grand Rapids police officer Christopher Schur. Today, the prosecution rested its case and the defense began theirs. Schur is charged with second-degree murder for shooting Patrick Lyoya in the head during a fight after a traffic stop in 2022. His lawyers say it's a case of self-defense. Today, the defense asked for a mistrial or for the judge to take the decision on a verdict away from the jury. They argued the prosecution did not give sufficient evidence in their case. Judge Christina Mims denied both requests. In Pontiac's V. Levrin, the man once known as the Hockey Doc will spend at least the next 10 years in prison for sexual assaults and other crimes involving adults and teenagers. Victims say Levrin groped them during physicals. He often worked with youth hockey teams in the Detroit area. He recently pleaded no contest to 28 crimes in Oakland County, including third-degree criminal sexual conduct. No contest means you don't admit guilt, but accept the punishment. In Detroit, a jury found Dr. Sharice Valentine guilty in federal court of writing illegal prescriptions for opioid medications. This was on Friday. Prosecutors say the 69-year-old doctor wrote more than 3,000 prescriptions to people who did not have a medical reason for needing them. The clinic where she worked in Oak Park operated out of a warehouse and accepted only cash. Looking outside of Michigan now, U.S. Customs officers discovered more than 17 pounds of liquid methamphetamine in plastic bottles labeled dog shampoo at the Los Angeles International Airport. They were found while officers were searching a shipment headed to Australia on April 1st. Crews are still working in coastal Louisiana today to clean up a spill of a mixture of oil and natural gas into a marsh. The U.S. Coast Guard says the spill came from a facility owned by the oil and gas company Spectrum OPCO on Saturday. Officials say crews have recovered almost 9,500 gallons of oily liquid so far. Today in Rome, survivors of Catholic Church sexual abuse called on the next pope to have a zero-tolerance policy for that abuse. The U.S.-based group Survivors Network of Those Abused by Priests, or SNAP, also want the church to identify cardinals who have a poor record of handling such cases.
When the white smoke comes out of the Sistine Chapel, we don't want another survivor or family member or whistleblower to hear the name of the next pope and think, that's somebody who's caused deep harm in my life. That's somebody who's been a source of terror and a source of pain.
SNAP launched the online Conclave Watch to provide information about individual cardinals and their records. Today is the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, and in Ho Chi Minh City, they celebrated the fall of Saigon with fireworks and parades. The end of the war also marked the formation of the modern nation of Vietnam. That day came in 1975, about 2 years after the U.S. withdrew its last combat troops from the country, ending the 20-year conflict that killed almost 60,000 Americans and 3 million Vietnamese. Government officials in Pakistan are saying they have credible intelligence that India will attack within days. This stems from last week's deadly attack in Indian-controlled Kashmir. Pakistan denies backing the attack in which 26 people were killed. India has moved to punish Pakistan, driving tensions between the nuclear-armed rivals to their highest point since 2019. And in Australia today, a man drove a Jeep off a jetty, narrowly missing a police boat after a standoff with authorities. Then the driver sat on top of the Jeep, speaking with police before jumping into the water. He was arrested soon after. The red Jeep had been involved in an earlier traffic incident, according to Australian media. Back here in the U.S., a Columbia University student who was taken into custody by ICE agents a little over 2 weeks ago is celebrating his freedom. For now, Moshe Madawi spoke outside a Vermont courthouse this morning after a federal judge ordered him to be released from custody pending the resolution of the case. The 34-year-old was one of the students leading pro-Palestinian protests at Columbia University. ICE agents arrested the U.S. permanent resident on April 14th at what was supposed to be a citizenship interview. The Trump administration is still arguing for his deportation.
If we have faith in our beliefs, unshakable beliefs, which is the belief that justice is inevitable, we will not fear anyone, because our fight is a fight for love, is a fight for democracy, is a fight for humanity.
A day before his arrest, Madawi told reporters he thought there was a chance the long-awaited naturalization interview could be a trap.
Wow. A kangaroo fella in Tuskegee, Alabama. Macon County. We see a little bit of everything here.
It certainly looks like it. Alabama state troopers had their hands full Tuesday when this runaway kangaroo named Sheila shut down an interstate and snarled traffic for hours. Sheila escaped from her enclosure at a home of a private owner. That person was able to tranquilize Sheila, and police were then able to capture her. She was not hurt, David, and is back home tonight. But
Word is she heard about our summers and was on her way to Michigan to pay us a visit. Just saying, that's not something you see every day, right?
No, that would be, it's interesting. They could probably just jump right over cars, I would imagine.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sheila wasn't going to be stuck in traffic. She was just...
They're pretty feisty, too. You got to be careful.
Yeah, I've seen the ones where they kind of like to box a little bit. Well, with their, not with their arms, but their, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Balancing on the tail.
Weather-wise, we're kind of hopping closer to the weekend. We've got cool temperatures now, but boy, you're going to love the warm-up this weekend.
Okay, can't wait. Your full forecast